in our culture, it's not acceptable for a guy to be honest.
I know,
like
but it's still,
But then it is acceptable for the guy to throw a glass against the wall and scream because of the rage that he feels for being rejected. I mean, like, come on, guys. It's not stronger just to get pissed off and go off the handle. Like,
this hole in the wall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that most people throw things against the wall. Like, but I don't throw things against the wall. But I mean, it is the typical male response. It's kind of it's kind of like like a pouty, angry. The reality really is your feelings are hurt, and so you're going to react by having hurt feelings. So what you did actually is a great thing for your marriage because you communicated a need.
Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
I do weird things before the camera, but when I post video, no one ever sees that because I always cut that part out. Yeah. Because we have our own little video intro. If you guys don't watch the video on YouTube, make sure to follow us on YouTube. Yeah. Like and subscribe.
Mash that like button.
Yeah. No, seriously, subscribe though, for reals. Yeah. We need a little more.
We're getting a couple. I saw a name that I told Blanca about because I'm like, hey, just so you know, Crazy Girl 2000 or whatever the name was, like, she's following us. So I have no idea. It was YouTube will tell you who's following.
Oh, I'm like,
there's like names, like just girl something,
just to be safe. It's not us.
Look, honey, I had nothing to do with it.
We're famous, we're gonna have stalkers. It's gonna happen.
It's
Can you imagine having a stalker? That'd be fucking wild.
That'd be pretty cool.
There's no. Probably. So there was this girl when I was at Charter, and this was just like a little after me and Blanca split up. That would fucking come to. I think I've said this before, but she would come to like my work, and she brought me like Subway one time. She called. And I'm like, they're like, Jesse, so-and-so's on the phone. I'm like, what the fuck? Just tell them I'm not here. And like, what the hell? Where did she get the idea that I'm like,
I'll eat the Subway sandwich.
But. Like, thank you. It's delicious.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It was because I was friends with like her friend and then like her friend, like, I don't know if she came to the school one time or something. And, you just talk to people. Yeah, I don't know how it happened, but
she didn't date or anything.
Nothing. I didn't even date her friend. Like we didn't never dated or nothing. It was not. I didn't even. It wasn't even like let's just have a thing on the side because the friend was very like Christian, very she had like values and stuff, and she was like a little nerdy. She was nerdy like chick, and she was. I think I had taken her home one time. I think that's probably why.
Yeah, you did.
no, because I know what you mean.
Yeah, but you just drove her home.
Yeah, it was weird though, and I was like, dude, this is kind of like she would like just show up at the school.
Just be there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, even after the friend was not in that school anymore, like she would just pop up. Hey, I'm like, you need to kind of like stop. I don't know how it didn't stop. Probably because I just ignored her.
Yeah,
but.
She got the picture.
That was probably the closest I've had.
She didn't go to stalker level. She read the room and she
backed
off. Either that or she's living in your attic or something.
Can you, dude? Have you seen those videos?
I've seen movies about it.
Well, there was like a true story.
Yeah, right. I know.
Where there was they kept hearing things, and so that they put a camera, and then someone drops from their ceiling.
And
go to their fridge,
and goes gets food, and then whittles their way back up into the ceiling.
That would terrify me.
That'd be really freaky.
There's an episode of Supernatural where they think it's a ghost in this house this family moves into. Well, it turns out it's this. I think it's a brother and sister or something. They're living under the house in like a crawl space area, and it was creepy. It was a kind of a creepy episode, but I was like, okay.
Yeah. So they find out it's not supernatural in that one. It's just people.
It's just people. He goes, people. Just people are crazy.
Yeah, people are scarier than.
Because he's like, okay, get in this salt, blah blah blah. You know how they do, and then they just kept coming. They're like, what the fuck?
It doesn't help anything. Yeah.
It was just it was a person.
Salt.
Yeah. That's why I got my salt gun though for ghosts.
Yeah. But. So there's I've kind of been on a Nosferatu kick because a new movie came out.
Yeah.
And so I've been watching the one that was from like 1979 over and over again. And there's a scene towards the end where the guy that goes, I forget his name. I've seen it enough. I should.
Nosferatu.
The guy that goes to meet him at his castle and sign the papers to come and buy the house. And, in this case, it's in like Holland or something. But anyway, he comes back and he's been bitten. So he's transforming into a vampire. Well, somebody poured salt around him in the corner of the room. He was like sick and like asleep and sitting in a chair. And I think it was Van Helsing like poured salt around him.
Oh, shit.
And so he wakes up. And at this point, like things have gone kind of crazy. And Nosferatu himself has died. And the police arrest Van Helsing and take him away. And it's just him and the maid. And he goes, "What have you allowed here? Look at the floor. There's dust everywhere. Go, get your dustpan." And she goes and like takes some of the salt up, and he jumps out of the chair and like scuffles out. He looks at her all weird. He's like, "Fetching my horse. There's much to do." And it ends with him riding off.
Oh, I was gonna say it sounds like
a good movie, man. Like it's for free. Anybody can watch it. You should watch the 1970s.
Where's that at?
Of Nosferatu. It's like you just look it up on your TV.
Oh, okay.
I think it's on like Tubi or like Freevee or what. I mean, you can find it anyway.
Yeah.
The music gets a little repetitive. It's very like intense music, and it's like the same couple of songs over and over again, depending on like the intensity of the scene. But it's pretty good. I mean, it's I call it a top tier.
It is. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I was last night. I forget what time it was, but sometimes I like to just put a movie on instead of like my show. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let me put on The Martian. It's with Matt Damon.
Sure. Oh yeah.
There's,
yep.
Come to find, there's so many.
Yep.
I know that one. Yep.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I won't talk about it.
No, you can.
Nope.
I just am very much in agreement about The Martian.
Yeah. But I was like, let me just put this on. I haven't. It's probably boring. I remember watching this movie a long time ago when it came out. And, it's one of those movies where you just start watching it.
Just goes, yeah.
Fuck, because it kind of happens quick.
Right.
You get stranded on Mars. There. And then Alicia, she's like trying to go to sleep, and then she got into it. I actually fell asleep, and she watched.
She watched the whole thing?
No, she watched the first hour and something minutes of it.
Okay.
Hour and like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a long movie. It's like 2.5 hours.
Not short.
And then I realized, it's fucking Ridley.
Another way to say long. It's not short. I'm on it today.
The opposite.
I am on fire this Sunday morning.
The opposite of short is
That's
long.
Right, Jesse. The opposite. It was the opposite of short.
But I ended up waking up and then watching the last, 30 minutes of it. But it was like 2:30 in the morning when I woke up. And I hate that shit, man.
When you wake up partway through a night?
It's 2:30. I'm like, fuck. And then the other night, was it Friday morning? I had Friday off. And so I was going to go to the gym. Well, I did go to the gym with Alicia on Friday. But, my body's starting to get used to waking up early now. Mm-hmm. Even though this is my first week. This last week was my first week at my new job.
Right.
So I get up about 4:40.
And you're starting to get into that routine. You're now.
My body's like, whoa. I felt like Nosferatu. Just coming up out of bed. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh. It is a weird feeling to be at work at 5:30.
I'll bet. Pitch black.
It's kind of dark, yeah.
Yeah.
But then 7:30 rolls around, and I'm like, I've fucking been here 2 hours already. Holy shit.
When do I get to go home? Yeah.
So, because like this week's been training, right?
Right.
And so Monday was like orientation. That was about 4 hours, and which is cool. It's all this paperwork crap, and they're telling you about the company and just about the area and all that stuff. It was kind of cool. I won't lie. Everyone seems very, very much very chill and everything. Seems like a good environment, I feel. Yeah, I wanted to say cool, but I said cool about 30 times already.
Cool.
Everyone was cool.
Awesome.
Or awesome.
Chill there.
Yeah. But then there's hella people that they're like, who's this? Is this your first time working here? And it was like 3 of us. It was our first time ever working.
Is this your first time working here at this company? Well, hence we're here for orientation. Yes.
Well, no, the other people there, it's not. They were just in other departments within the.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, this one worked for.
So like basically a transfer type.
Yeah, because it's it's everyone's. Yeah, there's like over 9,000 employees or something crazy.
That's wild.
It's huge. It's a lot bigger than I thought.
Just like locally, or
I want to say Wow. Like the traffic leaving work is insane.
Yeah.
I leave at 4:30. So I'd get dressed before I'd go to the gym. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, let me bounce out of here. And it's just, you just see the cars. Mm-hmm. So one of the things I was told is I could potentially just start at 5 in the morning.
Okay.
Right. And leave at 3 or 3:30. I'm like,
fuck out of there.
Bruh, I'm down. If I have that opportunity, which I think is cool. I think it's cool when they can do that because
they just have some flexibility.
Yeah, my last job when I used to have to drive to Toppenish, I had to leave at 5. I'd get home at 6:15. So one time I did ask, hey, if I come in at 7, can I leave at 4 so I can get home by 5:15? No. No. I'm like, dude, it's a fucking hour.
Right.
What's the big deal? There's already people here at 7. Mm-hmm. I myself had a tech there at 7 because she had to work that her shift was 7 to 4 because she had to be the support for all that's C-level folks. And he was like, no. And I was like, oh my God. All right, you bitch.
You know what's funny? Anything you want.
I know, fucking asshole.
Feels kind of nice.
It does. I actually was going to the gym the other day, and one of my techs, he calls me, and he's like, hey, I just got this email from Tyler about my time fixes, and he reads me the email, and it's very read like a corporate speak. Mm-hmm. It is the duty of the blah, 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 because I had to fix people's times, and I warned them, though, my last meeting, I was like, hey, you need to, if you have time fixes, send them my way because he's not going to be as cool as I am about it, right? Because I understand we can't always clock in and out because they'll leave their house and go straight to they have to drive 2 hours. Mm-hmm. They can't, and it's not like they can clock in. So sure enough, he didn't submit his time, Chris didn't, and he tells me, I was like, bro, I warned you. I straight up, he goes, you did, you called it. I was like, I'm just letting you know.
Yep.
And he's like, fuck. He goes, how did you deal with this for 8 years? I'm like, because he goes, you got a lot, you got bigger balls than me, because that pissed me off. Like, I'm like, it's just something I dealt with. But there was things I kept to my, within my scope. Like,
sure.
Okay, it doesn't bug me. I'm not gonna take this like, they're not listening. Like it's easy stuff. Like, I don't care. It takes me fixing someone's time. It is not a
big deal.
It sucks if it's like a lot, but when it's just like here and there, it's like whatever. It takes fucking 2 minutes. If that, I might be pushing the 2 minutes. It's just laziness. But anyway, the Martian. The Martian.
Yeah, I remember when he was cutting up the potatoes to grow other potatoes. That was cool. I was like, is that really how potatoes can grow? You cut them into little chunks.
Yeah, apparently you can. You can because it's the root.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And so you can plant that part.
Growing those little roots out.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's nuts.
I've seen videos where people do that with bananas. I don't know how true that is either, though.
You can grow a banana from a banana? I guess you could. Their seeds are inside the banana.
Yeah. No, they'll cut it, and then they'll, plant it in something, and you see them.
The banana itself, they cut it in half and, shove the banana?
Yeah.
I've heard that you can grow a pineapple if you cut the pineapple top off.
See, I don't believe that.
I'm going to say I believe it.
Well, we've done the avocado thing.
Yes, we grew an avocado tree.
Just never grew any avocados.
It died.
Oh, did it finally die?
It died a while ago. But
did it get super tall?
It got, I would say, maybe 2.5 feet tall.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad. But, let's give it the benefit of that. Let's say 3 feet. It got 3 feet tall. It got to the point it had 2 shoots, and the leaves are pretty big, and then it just kind of I don't know if we didn't know how to care for it.
It's like, this is not Mexico.
Losing. Yeah, this is Washington State. Okay, it started losing its leaves, and then it was just like it went downhill fast. But our daughter Elena planted the avocado seed, and I was like, go for it. Good luck, Yeah. When we moved, it had been under this counter for a while. And we like totally forgot that we even had it. So we're moving, and I pull this thing out, and there's a little tree growing out of it. It blew my mind.
Was she watering it? I wonder.
I don't think she remembered.
Probably,
I think there must have been enough water in there to last that long to get it started.
It's crazy how resilient some plants are.
Oh, it's nuts. And
like in the winter, I got little trees outside that we still have in their pots that we haven't, transferred into
or whatever. Yeah. We do too.
But they're still alive and kicking, I think.
Yeah.
I think.
I know.
It's been snowing.
I bought a dogwood that is not planted, and I'm hoping that it's fine because I want to get it planted.
It's made out of real dogs.
It's made out of dogs. They were eating the dogs, and we said, no, we're going to take it and put it in a beautiful
dogwood.
Tree. A dogwood tree. Beautiful tree.
But
they have really pretty flowers in the spring. So that's going to be exciting to plant that.
I was thinking about the movie The Martian.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how long would I survive on Mars?
I would kill myself.
I would have probably died instantly, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because
I can't breathe.
Yeah, there's a like he gets hit by a satellite.
Yeah.
Gets knocked out. Of course, and then
because this is they fly away. There was like a really big.
There was a storm coming,
right? And he's on Mars.
Yeah,
and he's trying to run back.
They're all trying. No, they leave the fucking ship because the captain, for whatever reason, is like, "Oh, let's go." They're like, "No, it's a storm." She's
let's go back at Mars.
I can't remember what she needed to do, but she was an idiot.
I have to poop.
She's like, "No, let's go check this out." And so they go. And it's her fault, to be honest. But he gets hit by the stupid thing, knocked out. They're like, he's probably dead. All right, let's get out of here.
Right.
Because they can't see. It's fucking dark. There's
so
crazy
we're not going back out there.
Yeah, because it's either we leave him or we all die. They leave.
We leave one man behind.
Yeah. And then he...
supposed to be no man behind?
No man left behind.
Huh.
And then he wakes up and he has like this thing stabbed in his
abdomen. That would take me out. I'd just be like, oh.
And so he gets in and he gets decompressed or whatever, and then he like pulls it out and he has this like hole in his fucking stomach. And then you see him like get the like forceps or whatever, spread it open, and then pull out this other piece of metal. Almost looks like a bullet.
That's nuts.
But it's like the end of whatever rod was stuck in him.
Yeah. And
then this guy folds it and then staples himself. That whole part. I'd have died of fucking probably gangrene.
Pass out, bleed to death.
Like he didn't even wince.
Nah, well, right. I mean,
I guess adrenaline.
Yeah,
and he's an herbologist or whatever.
Yeah, so he knows about plants.
Yeah. So he's
cool because that's what saves him.
Oh, what's gonna save me? I'm gonna plant.
How long was he supposed to be there? Like 9 months.
He ended up being there for fucking I forget how many days. They used soul days.
These astronauts that right now are stuck up on the space station still. They're supposed to go up a day.
Well, it takes...
And they've been up there for how many months? It's been like a year.
It takes forever to get to places.
I know.
Bam, space travel's got to be boring shit. Like, as much as I want to go to space or go to check out another planet or something, I think that would be cool.
I do not want to, but...
Be like, fuck, are we there yet? That's why I like the movies where they're like, okay, we're going to put you in suspended sleep.
Right.
Because I feel like... Oh, I woke up. I only slept for 3 hours. It's been 4 years.
We're leaving Earth. Oh, we're on Mars. Yeah. Because how long does it take to get to Mars? Like months, right?
Yeah, months? It was something like...
It takes like 4 days to get to the moon.
Yeah, it was something like 5 months or 6 months.
The moon is so close that it orbits Earth, right? But it takes 4 freaking days to fly there. That's
crazy. Can you imagine just like...
It's like for 4 days.
But then in that movie, they do some, obviously some like, movie stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, come on now.
Yeah.
Come on. But that's like with me with Interstellar. I love that movie, but I know the whole premise of the movie is kind of like obviously fake. But it's so cool. Have
to be? The way that they took the clips of the Dust Bowl and connected it like that, I thought was like brilliant.
Oh,
they used the Ken Burns Dust Bowl documentary, and they use those actual people to make it connect to like this thing.
Time, it was. I remember it was real dusty.
Yeah,
because that's what Earth's dying,
covered in dust. Yeah.
That
old people are pretty cool.
I love that movie though. I just watched it.
It's a really good movie. It's very long, but it's wonderful.
I've watched it 1,000. I don't know why I love that movie. There's something about that movie that just connects with me. I think.
Yeah.
I think sometimes I was talking to Leo about this. Like, there's those movies where you just kind of like, you just connect with them somehow. Mm-hmm. Like there's a scene where he cries. Matthew McConaughey cries, and for whatever reason. That part of that movie always gets to me. And I think it's because I look at it like, if that was me, I would probably I would do the same thing, because you're sitting here seeing your kids.
Yeah, right.
You remember them being little babies, and all of a sudden you were on this planet for fucking 2 hours. You go to space.
Right.
You come back into the space station. It was like 20 years past, and all of a sudden all this shit.
Right.
You're like
for you've been in space a month.
Yeah.
Like in total, let's say. And every time you go down to these effed up planets, you come back and it's like, oh, my daughter just died at 89 years old.
Yeah, it was,
and I'm still 43.
So like that one, like, I don't know, somehow it resonates with me, and I'm like, it always gets me in my feels, that one.
Makes sense.
But Leo was telling me that Matthew McConaughey did that in one take. Like that.
He is
that crying
pretty
scene.
Great actor, really. Like I used to not like him for no good reason. When I was younger, probably because of the romantic comedies or something. Yeah. But him in True Detective, he was so incredible. Good. He did Interstellar, which he did an incredible job. And then there's something else that he was recently in that I saw him, and
he was on.
I forget what it was that I just.
Was he on Wolf on Wall Street, or which one was he on? One of those kind of like movies where he's like not a broker.
Well, what's that Dallas Buyers Club or whatever, where he lost all that weight? I mean, it's just like he is really a dedicated actor. And
what's that fucking John Grisham book?
The Lincoln Lawyer.
No, there's that one. There's another one with Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my God, A Time to Kill.
Yeah, yes.
He does a great job.
That was his original book.
That he does a great job in that movie.
Yeah. No, he really is a great actor. Like, I took him for granted.
Yeah, I guess he has this thing about doing things like the first take's the one that you want to do it on, because that's the truest you can get your emotion.
It makes sense. It makes sense,
because at least in his eyes.
Otherwise, you're trying to tweak it.
Yeah,
right. That makes sense. Yeah.
But I wonder
how pretending like I have any clue what it'd be like to work on a movie.
I would be so terrible.
Like, listen, I know about movies.
I've watched thousands.
I've watched a lot of them, and no, but it's fun to pretend.
Right.
I did take a film class at Eastern Washington.
That's me. I took a photography class in high school, and so that'd be like me.
I graduated from Kamaikan Law, so I am also a lawyer. I graduated.
That sounds like a law
high
firm.
School's law.
Kamaikan Law, where we work for you.
Look, Kamaikan Law. Yeah. Are you in a car accident?
The bravest.
Come to Kamaikan Law. We can't use that now.
Why?
Well, we can, but we have to have, So in Washington now, you have to make sure that you have the blessing of tribes to use.
Braves isn't even a tribe.
Well, it's using so like Chief Kamaikan. He was an actual. I think he was a Yakima Nation.
Okay,
chieftain, and or one of the tribes anyway.
It's like tribute, though.
Brave, I feel like I have always felt like it was done in a tasteful way.
Yeah.
But still, I get where it's coming from. It's.
I do, but I don't.
It's just acknowledging the traditional land.
I think it's cool because it is acknowledging like Kamaikan, like you're still have that out there, like you'll always remember.
Yeah, and actually, and it sounds like it was a very good, because our school district had to negotiate basically with the tribes to be able to use that likeness. And the only thing that really changed, they asked that the superintendent read, like whenever we do like anything where the whole district comes together, they just read basically a statement about
in like they're native,
kind of like
no, in a native voice.
They're very respected. No, they're very respectful, and they just it's like, you know, we acknowledge that this is traditional land of like the native peoples and blah blah blah, and it's nice. I think it's a nice thing.
You know, the United States should just recognize that as a whole that this was.
Yeah. What? I can't borrow some land? No. What?
Freaking. No, I can see that. I mean, I can see that. I think what would be cool.
Acknowledgement.
I think what would actually be cool, really, is if they did a class that like covered the history behind, you know, that tribe or that you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know,
like a native history.
They do Washington state history. That is a requirement here, and there is.
Well, I took it stupid.
But you mean like specific to the name that the school's named after?
Or the Yakima Nation or something. Because I'm sure you can do a small class around all that.
It'd be fascinating, and there's definitely standards that you can.
Like when I was in Toppenish, I would go to this restaurant called Dad's, and. In there's they had a couple like frames, but it would have these different chiefs on it.
Oh, okay.
These native, and so as I'm waiting for my hamburger, I would be reading it, and some of the stuff was like just super interesting about just that area and just.
It is wild. I mean, like Washington. Growing up here, there was always a sense that there's really not a lot of history here.
There is,
you know, because it's like it's one of the later states. I mean, our state's over 100 years old, but it's, you know, not 300 years old. But really, I mean, like you drive anywhere and you're going to see markers that show where a battle was against a native tribe or something. And, you know, it's like really some major things like you think about.
Well, Lewis and Clark came right through our area. Yeah.
It's so fascinating. I tell the kids that, like, I teach first grade for those of you that aren't familiar listeners. And we just read a story about Lewis and Clark. We had a story of the week that was like a narrative story. And then we had this little nonfiction piece that we read about Lewis and Clark. It was like a 3-page little thing. But when I told them, hey, did you know that they came right through where we lived? Like, oh, they were losing their minds. Like,
that's funny though.
It's crazy. Well, like, it really is pretty wild.
Yeah, I think
we've got the nuclear Hanford Nuclear Reservation here. That's pretty big deal.
You know, we I guess the Hanford area is the biggest in the nation on something they do. I just found out because I work out in that area now.
Yeah,
so it's like, so it's going to be cool to actually get to see some of the stuff that's out that way.
Yeah, my dad worked out there for 40 years.
The way they talk about it too when I was there is like it's their own city in a sense.
Yeah.
Because it's fucking ginormous.
It is enormous. There's a lot of like nothing and then pods of lots of stuff.
Yeah. So they have like their own crews that take care of the roads.
My dad was one of those.
They got their own fire and police force pretty much.
Yep. As long as contract negotiations
are
in order. Yeah.
But, no, I don't know. There is a lot of history here because, you know, we helped with the A-bomb.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, we made the plutonium for the atomic bomb. What? Yeah, that's what they were creating.
Probably not the coolest thing.
Well, I mean,
it's cool, though.
It's part of the history of the last 60 years.
Was it in Oppenheimer?
I think they might have mentioned it a little. I still haven't watched Oppenheimer.
I started to, and it's
I want
to
be in
boring.
The right mindset.
It's long
to watch it. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing is I can see it being a movie that, as cool as it is, could have its moments that are hard to get through.
I started it, and I was like, you know what? Definitely not in the right mind right now because. You
have to be ready to pay attention. You know what I mean?
It's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Right.
His movies are always like trippy in a sense in the way that he shoots things.
Yeah.
And that's one of them that's like I feel like I need to pay attention because there was another one where
I started the first like 10 minutes of it. I think when he was like wasn't he a student or a teacher?
Yeah, it just
or something
was weird.
Yeah.
And then
come on, he's learning stuff. Come on.
They didn't know that. He made it up.
Yeah.
Because like one of the Christopher Nolan movies that I tried watching and I still have to go back and try to rewatch it is the one where it seems like it's going in reverse. Like he dies and I can't remember the name of the movie. I don't know if
was it Benjamin Button? Was it the one?
No. This one's it's newer than that. I don't. It's no. It's like an Inception style movie because he did Inception.
Okay.
But it's like I can't remember the fucking name of the movie. Either way, it seems cool, but there's parts where it's just like
yeah.
It has Robert Pattinson's in it.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the fucking name. I'll find out later on. But there's some of his movies where they're just a little slow for me.
Gotcha.
Obviously, I love the Batman movies, and then my favorite's probably Memento. It's probably my favorite Christopher. It's probably my favorite.
That was a good one.
That's probably one of my top 5 movies of all time.
Yeah,
is Memento. I don't know why. I just love that movie. Yeah. I started watching it again the other day. I was like, this movie's so sick. I haven't watched that one in a long time. So good. He just tattoos himself because he fucking has a shitty memory. Oh, man, it's cool. It's a dope movie, bruh. No.
Man.
You know, just switching up, though. I was like having a funky week.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like mentally, I think it was. And I think for me, I think it attributes to like my love language is touch, right? And so when the wife's not wanting to do that, like it gets me in a grumpy mood.
Okay.
And so me and Alicia had to have a talk around, you know.
So
like,
this week was kind of she wasn't in the mood for
you know that
contact,
which which I gotta understand that's not always going to be the case, right? That's
sure.
Not, some of us have different levels, and some of us our love language is different. Mine just happens to be touch. I kind of need that to feel connected.
Yeah.
And so, like the kids, I always hug them. I'll just randomly hug them.
Yeah, you're not saying like it has to be like any kind of sexual thing.
No. And sometimes
physical touch.
I do need that for myself anyway, because that can put me to a little grumpiness.
Yeah.
And so I had we had to have that conversation around that. Like, hey, I need this out of you. I'm not asking a lot, but this is what I need. Do
you want her to allow you to touch her, or do you need her to like actively like
sometimes both
hold you, touch,
not hold me, but like more
cradle you?
Like, hey, baby,
mama. Like you want to just every once in a while reach out and like grab your hand,
maybe that,
or just like lean her head on you, that kind of thing.
But I don't know, something about that just puts me in a grumpy mood. I'm like, girl, because then it gets thrown like, why don't you ever touch me? What? Like, I try. You slap me away.
Oh.
One of those things.
Okay.
It's like, so it gets thrown back sometimes.
Okay.
But I don't know. Sometimes I think it's okay to have the open conversation.
It's great to have an open conversation
about that stuff. So it was good to have that with her, because then I made a terrible joke, but it was a joke nonetheless, because I was not happy because it had been a minute, and I'm like, let me just get a booty call then. If you're not gonna do this for me. She's like, what? I'm like, I'm just kidding. I said, maybe I shouldn't have joked about
that. Point made. Hey, I can go down to massage parlor right now if you aren't interested. Okay. No. I was like,
okay, maybe I should have done a joke.
No, you're definitely not gonna get touched.
But no.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like, I noticed that for me, like when I don't get that, like I notice my mood just, and I don't actively pay attention to it until like later. I'm like I'll be sitting there and I'm just like, why am I just annoyed for no reason? Or why am I like?
But you're linking those two things together. You're making a
recognition. And I never knew that about myself until me and her got together. I never knew that was I never knew what my love language was or whatever. I never heard that term really, honestly, until even after we were together. I think I heard someone use that term, and I was like,
"Yeah,
oh, that's
it's kind of like a catchy what do you call it?"
Yeah, because some people they love to give gifts.
Yeah,
that's their, they love to give in that sense, right?
Yes.
And some people love to have acts of what is it when you do things for people?
See, that's mine.
Like I'll I'll clean the kitchen or I'll build you a whole house or something. You know what I mean?
Well, yours are more extreme than mine are.
But
Yeah.
But it's like things like that, I guess.
I take for granted. So my parents are very non-romantic people. I'm not saying that they didn't need any kind of romance, but we never saw any romance. It was always...
Your dad be gaming around. What's up, baby?
I never saw my dad grab my mom's butt or anything like that. They just they were always doing something like separately. Like my dad was always working outside, cleaning up the cars, like always doing something productive. Yeah. Like at nighttime is when they would sit and watch TV.
Oh, I bet they did.
And it was like all the time. I like weekends. I always think my dad's outside, doing whatever he's doing, mowing the lawn, cleaning up the cars for sure, doing something in the garage. Mom is ironing with HGTV or what do you call it? Like any of those like lady shows on the Cooking Network.
God, I love HGTV.
That's like my mindset of what, marriage is. So that's been a tricky thing for me because Blanca's definitely, she needs affirmations of love.
Yeah, I understand that. I get that.
And I get it too, because it does feel good when you know that somebody's like, into you.
The way I look at it is like I have to question her. Like, do you like in my head? I'm like, am I like? Do you find me like attractive or like?
You kind of feel
I feel unwanted in a sense. That sounds so stupid when I say it out loud.
It is
because I'm a guy. I shouldn't think that, but that's what it is.
Okay, but that's the thing is in our culture, it's not acceptable for a guy to be honest.
I know, but it's still
But then it is acceptable for the guy to throw a glass against the wall and scream because of the rage that he feels for being rejected. I mean, like, come on, guys, it's not stronger just to get pissed off and go off the handle. Like
this hole in the wall.
I mean, I'm not saying that most people throw things against the wall. Like, but I don't throw things against the wall. But I mean, it is the typical male
response myself.
Is kind of it's kind of like a pouty, angry. The reality is your feelings are hurt, and so you're going to react by having hurt feelings. So what you did actually is a great thing in marriage because you communicated a need. And she's more likely probably to respond to you communicating that you have that.
And she goes, well, and obviously, like I said, we had a good conversation around the whole thing. And so it's like, sometimes it's just really hard. Sometimes I think as a guy too, it's like to find those words to express how you feel because you don't want to come across as weak. You don't want to come across as like this little pussy or you're kind of complaining. Yeah. That's how for me it always feels like I'm complaining. And I don't want it to come across that way because that's how it might sound.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I need this. Yeah. This is something I need. Yep. So, this is what I need from you.
Yeah.
I know there's things because they, our wives will let us know, and just like any other woman would let us know, hey, this is what we need from you. So I think it's okay to reciprocate that and be like,
it is okay, but I think you're absolutely right. I mean, I think about me when there's something like emotional that I have to connect to and put into words. My brain does not have that connection. Yeah. You're right. I physically cannot figure out how to speak honestly when it's personal that way.
Right? It's like you can't find the words. I sound like that guay we watched that video on. We got slapped in the face.
Guess everything. Yeah. Pretty. We'll definitely have to share that. That's pretty great.
But that's kind of.
But that is, you're right. Like that's kind of how I feel. My mouth moves, but it's like I overthink it so much instead of just throwing out there what I feel. And there have been times it's been really good where I'm just like, F it. Like I'm gonna say it. And I don't care if she gets mad. And I've had moments where it's really gone, not like the opposite of a backfire, where like I've said something like this, she's going to get super pissed, but I don't care.
Yeah.
And I've said something, and that's actually done the opposite. Like the honesty of me saying how I feel has turned it around where she's like, okay. So, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we're having an honest conversation. But I think it is.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Men from the time they're little, at least maybe it's different now the way we're raising kids, but that wasn't something that was valued in distilling in boys and men. It's like, even if you had I had great parents, I feel.
Yeah.
But I just was not something expected. It's not something deeds are the things that are valued in a man, is like what money can you make, what good can you give the world as far as deeds.
I think as kids we weren't, at least for me, you weren't ever taught emotional intelligence in the sense of like how do you express yourself,
right, self-awareness.
And I can't say for sure if I was told don't cry. I mean, I'm sure there was times that don't cry, but
the pressure is definitely there.
Yeah,
the pressure is definitely there.
So I seen this video, and it's this little boy, and they ask him, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I'm fine." But like, there's some I can't remember the whole video, but clearly he's not fine. Mm-hmm. But the way he just goes about doing whatever he was doing, it just really like, you're like, dude, this kid's clearly not fine. He's clearly only like 6 years old, but he's already has that in him.
He's already hiding the fact that he's not okay.
Yeah, he's showing you like, I'm fine. Yeah. Then I seen this other video that was very like, I loved how they did it. This guy's on a date with this girl. She asks him, "Hey, so how you been? How are things with you going?" And then everything around him pauses, right? And then he just blurts out like how he's feeling, like literally how he's feeling, like I can't stand myself, or like, I'm dealing with this stuff. There's all this pressure on me, this, that, and the other thing. Like you just see him spill his guts, and everyone's frozen around him, right? And then it comes to, and then he just goes, "Oh, I'm fine. Mm-hmm. I've been good." But literally, it was just it was like a powerful little video. I was like, damn, that's pretty awesome.
Well, because the reality is people don't really want to hear. People aren't going to take their time to actually fix the problems that you have. Like people kind of want doing good.
How many times have you asked someone, "How are you doing?" And you literally just know they're going to say, "I'm fine."
Yep.
Because you don't want the whole thing.
And you assume already that they're going to ask you the same thing, and you say something that makes no sense to what they say back to you. It's a conditioned thing that we do.
So this is exactly how it is. So when you go to the store and the clerk asks you,
"Yep,
did you find everything okay?" And what's your answer always? "Yep, I found everything just fine." Because that's what they expect you to say. So every now and then, what I've done is I've thrown out, no, actually, I didn't. Mm-hmm. And the reaction they get is like, and I'm like, I'm kidding.
I'm not used to. I am sorry for your loss.
Yeah. So they get that reaction, but I can contribute that with in reality, if you ask someone, "Are you okay?" Mm-hmm. and they actually give you an honest answer, a lot of times you're going to be like thrown off, like, "Oh fuck, I don't think I was actually mentally prepped for the honesty that's coming out of your mouth right now." You know what? Can you just stop for a minute? Because I don't want to hear this. Yeah. That's how sometimes you think in your head that, I don't know. I just don't want to burden people. That's what I think.
Question with this, because I think like we're kind of at a place culturally right now where so many things are on their head. Like we're coming to a location in our history as a culture of like, we definitely have very different worldviews that are competing. So when we talk about these complex things like men's emotions, we're gonna we focus more on that because we're two guys.
Yeah, for sure.
This doesn't in any way take away from women and their emotions and their needs and that kind of thing.
But we're talking about us right now.
Focusing on males and trying to do the best thing for men to be the best they can be for everybody in society. Mm-hmm. I also don't want just crybaby guys that are crying about every little thing. So it's like the real conversation of, how do you teach men to be connected to their emotions, to be aware of things, but not just become a whiny little brat?
Well, you don't want to
handle anything. You know what I mean? It's so complex,
it's a balance. It's a balancing act.
There's definitely the expectation is a certain thing. I mean, like you're not going to get a girlfriend if you're crying about everything.
Yeah.
If there's just. On all ends of society, everybody's under an immense amount of pressure.
I think it's okay to say you're dating someone. I think it's okay to as a guy anyway, sometimes, there's going to be those times where you kind of have to maybe bottle up an emotion because maybe she's feeling some type of way. And so you do that as a way to protect her because you don't want to like burden her with your problems, because women are very caring creatures by nature. So if they're already like stressed for something, then you throw your problems on top of them, like sometimes it
can exacerbate that stress.
Yeah, it can make it worse. So sometimes holding that in, as much as we don't want to do that. Sometimes trying to find that balance is the part that's like kind of tough, because like, okay, I need to talk to her about this, but I can see right now it's probably not the time for it. But like you said, you don't want to just sit there and always bitch.
Well, yeah, because I think there is a point where you can go too into your feelings and your emotions, and it becomes a hindrance. There's like a level of healthy connection, and then there's a point where you just train yourself to get bothered by everything.
Let's be honest. Women want a guy that's a man, manly, right. Yes, showing that emotion and kind of like showing those little vulnerabilities. It is nice for a woman, but also she doesn't want it
not all the time, right?
Yeah, they want to know that in a situation
when it happens.
Yeah, in a situation where things are stressful, that you can handle yourself, or you can be calm, because in reality there's going to be moments where like Alicia, she cannot stand if someone's bleeding or something like that, where you have to you might not like that either, but there's going to be those moments where you kind of have to like suck it up and just do it, because that's just the nature of it. You got to be the strong one in a sense, you know what I mean? And so sometimes if you're always crying, they're going to be like, oh God, my God, he's such a pussy, he's so annoying, I need someone who's going to not be that way. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to have the bad effect, like you said. Like, oh, you little pussy, I'm going to go with the bad boy.
Yeah.
Like, fuck the bad boy.
Big little bad boy thing.
Like, I need someone who has a prison record.
Yeah, I want a teardrop tattoo. That's the sexiest thing.
I want someone with spider webs on their elbows.
I want a man that might kill me.
By the way, stupid ass tattoo. I'm sorry. If you have spider web elbows, that's a dumb ass tattoo. I don't understand it. I know it's like murder, right?
I don't know.
Or they have spiders?
I know the eye drop thing. That's the only one I know.
I know that one, but I thought there was one where it's like you got the webbing.
I've seen that, yeah. Peter Parker, maybe. Like, maybe you really like Spider-Man.
Yeah, I would have that here.
I had a friend in college that had Wolverine here.
That'd be sick.
I think it was like Wolverine and maybe like Iron Man or something. He had like, what do you call them? Like low sleeves. I don't know what you call the forearm sleeve, but it looked like Wolverine was like slicing through his arm.
That's cool. I seen this. One of the coolest tattoos I ever could remember seeing was, I want to say I was at like a pizza place or somewhere. This guy had, it was like, it was a mechanical almost.
Oh,
the way it looked like there was a creature,
like a robot guy.
Yeah, well, it made it look like there was a creature in there controlling his arm.
Huh.
It was pretty dope.
Wow.
That one, and then there was a guy that came into this Arby's I worked at that had this dragon tattoo, and seeing his dragon tattoo made me want a dragon tattoo. But it was like around his arm, but then there was like the smoke was coming up, but it was so well done.
Wow.
I wonder how well done it was now that I think about it, because that was
one of the earliest.
Yeah, like 98, 99.
It might be a little dated now, but
you're like, ew.
Yeah, what if you got something that was like super cool that you knew was always going to be awesome, and then now looking back, it's like,
So there's a tattoo that I want, but I won't ever get because it's so done. It's the one. Have you seen the one with all the pine trees? It's like people wear.
Like the outdoors.
Yeah, I really like how that looks, but apparently I didn't know everyone and their mama has that.
Yeah, right.
The guy that was training me at where I'm at, he has a tattoo, and he said, because when he was in the military, he was like, yeah, people are fucking. He goes, I got so much shit for it. I go, I don't know, honestly. I was telling him, I was like, I like the tattoo. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Well, maybe because I like being outdoors and that shit, but I think it looks cool to me.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That's like I guess that's the equivalent of getting a tribal tattoo, because that was a thing when I was growing up. That or the barbed wire.
Yes.
Arm.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of guys have that one.
The barbed wire,
like 90s
around their arm.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, oh, look at these guns.
Mom heart.
Yeah, it's probably 50s, 60s
from the pirates. Yeah.
I'm gonna see if I can get this video up.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's good to be connected to your emotions. It's good to not need to cry all the time too. Like I don't know. I don't cry unless somebody I love dies. Usually.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just. I get mad a lot. That's the problem, is I get frustrated by a lot of things. But
I think oh shit, I fucked that up. I think we all do, though. Mm-hmm. I think we all get frustrated, or we all have those moments where we sorry guys, I was getting I was queuing up a vid.
You're doing double duty right now.
But no, yeah, what was you saying?
I show anger or frustration. With things like, for example, Blanca wants me to up my anxiety meds because for the last few months I've been more on edge, and like an example from yesterday, I thought I had my debit card. I didn't put it back in my phone case.
Okay.
It has the debit card slot in it. And so I was like, God, I forgot my freaking debit card. My brain went right to, it's not going to be where I thought it was going to be, and it's lost, and I'm going to have to like stress until I find it. My brain went right to the worst case scenario.
Of course.
And built out this whole thing that doesn't exist in real life.
Yeah.
Reality, it was in my pocket where I thought it was at home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't a big deal. She had a card. So her point was, it's not worth getting upset about because I have a card. Like, we can buy the gas now and it's fine. And then you can go find the card.
But you're like, it's not about that. It's like, where's this card at? I don't know. Now someone's going to steal my identity. Now I got to cancel everything.
The thing is like the spiral of stress. Our world right now, you feel like everyone's trying to steal your information. You feel like, I don't know about you, but I feel like everyone's trying to take your money. Like, everyone's trying to destroy any sense of security.
Sometimes I wonder if that's a guy thing, because when I was starting this new job, I needed to have certain identifications to prove who I was, right? So I needed a birth certificate. I needed my social security card. And I did the same thing. I was like, fuck, man, how am I going to get all that? I don't know where this is at. I know I have it, but I don't know where it's at, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm like, ugh. And then I go through my, like, little dresser thing that's in my room, and I fucking just rip everything out. Like, fuck, great. At least he is telling me the same shit. Like, just relax. Like, it's going to be fine. I'm like, no, I'm probably going to lose this job now.
Lose my job, and then we can't afford the house, and then I'm going
to be on the streets. I'm going to have to sell this ass. Like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I mean, that'll be fun, but everything else sucks.
And then,
yeah.
Literally, I did that whole extreme thing. Within 5 minutes of me clearing out that,
you found it.
I found it.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I found it.
I know, that is fine. It's like,
right, and like I said, I gave her the information. Now she has it, so I know where it's at. But like at the same time, there was that moment where you're just like, bleh.
Yeah.
So maybe I do need meds.
Connecting back to what we were talking about before, we have a perfect video as an analogy for men when it's stuff that doesn't have to do with emotions, and then when we hit the point where it does have to do with emotions.
Yeah. So let me see if I can cue this up. Just give us a second. Does that say monitor?
It's been a long time since
There we go. Let me make sure we got
the video.
Oh, yeah. What is this?
Speaker intel. Sorry guys.
Sorry, we're microphone. Hopefully you guys could have heard us that whole time. I'm going to switch back. Hopefully you guys heard us that time, the whole time. You see, if those who don't know, we were just switching back and forth between video and stuff. So some of you who got the audio, there might be a moment where it was quiet, just so you know. So sorry. I don't know.
There's a reason for it.
We'll find out here in a second.
We should have audio on both.
Now we should. Let's see.
Okay.
Where's the play button? This is a power slap. If you guys don't know, it's where two guys fucking slap each other, even girls. It's
people slapping each other.
It's actually pretty wild.
Hey.
Good morning. My mother-in-law. You getting some huevos?
Yeah, could you bring them down?
No, they're upstairs on the table.
No, I'm just looking to see if they had sausages.
Oh no. I don't know if we do. Breakfast. But here we go. Power slap. Oh. Oh.
Hold on. It's been a long time.
We haven't shared video.
We've shared a video.
You know what? Here we go. I can't.
We need the speakers, probably, huh?
Maybe. I don't know if that's a... I'm terrible.
We will be cutting some of this out, I'm sure, to make it a little more interesting during this period of time. There we go.
Not today, baby! Let's go!
That was a nice fucking slap.
Yeah! Yeah, no! Nothing! What do you need to do? Touch it, hey?
And then that's us guys sharing our emotion.
That's what we have to speak to, how we feel. On the inside.
Yeah, that's how I share emotions. I don't know what I'm saying.
I love it. He's trying to shit talk.
Yeah, he shit talks hard in the beginning.
He's still trying.
And then afterwards, he's still trying.
But he just spoke gibberish. It's so great.
I really hope that came out okay.
Oh, I do too.
It's so funny.
We know that they can hear us now, right?
Yeah. I switched back to normal.
We're still good. We didn't change those settings.
I got to get that fixed.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
I love that video. I laughed so hard yesterday because I'm like, one thing that really bugs me is people who talk like it's okay to like I'm competitive.
Yeah, but
I have this competition. So yesterday at the gym, we had this thing that they call it Splatter Day.
Yeah.
Well, one of our head coaches was there. Mm-hmm. He's also competitive. Mm-hmm. So him and I are competitive when he's there. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, so I'm running. He came up and he looks. I can see him because I'm on the treadmill at the end, and I see him in the mirror, and I see him like looking, and then he looks at me and he goes, "God damn it, I got 2.4. You got 2.8." I'm like, I just laugh because I forget he is competitive. But we do it in a way where it's like we're not talking
still
shit.
Friends, yeah. It's friends.
The rower, we had a row. What was it, 600 meters?
Yeah.
I finished before him. I get off to just start doing my like squatty things, and he sees me get off. He's like, "Fucking Jesse," like "fuck you."
Yeah.
But it's very friendly.
Yeah.
I hate when people are like that, where it's like, "Oh, in your face, you piece of shit." Like, oh my god.
There's a difference between being confident and being cocky. The cocky shit pisses me off. We were at Elliot's basketball game yesterday. And the team that we played, I mean, the coach seems nice, and the kids overall seemed like nice enough. But most of our team is fifth graders, and my nephew Logan is a sixth grader, and he knew at least one of the kids on the other team. So I think that other team is made more of sixth graders.
Okay.
Well, a lot of them are pretty tall, right? Because there's a big difference between fifth graders and sixth graders.
We can't count. Elliot's tall. He's probably with them.
He is not one of the tallest, believe it or not. He is actually like below probably half the kids on that team.
But he's also a fifth grader.
And
yeah.
But most of the kids on this team are fifth graders. Like they're hitting an age now where they just shoot up and they grow up fast, right?
Yep.
And one of the kids on the other team was a lot taller than one of the kids on our team, and he was just like putting his hand on the kid's head. How do you feel when somebody puts their hand?
I don't like the kids know I don't like when you touch my face.
It's like freaking rude, right?
Oh yeah.
So the other kid looks at him and like puts his hand on that kid's head, and I'm just like, you don't do that.
Oh yeah.
But what I really like about our coach was the kids were doing a little bit of shit talking. It wasn't bad. It wasn't to the point of like as a parent you're like, it was just little things.
Of course.
But our coach yelled back at our kids, "Do not say anything back."
Yeah, of course.
Like
that's good.
He's teaching them this is not how you play. Do not do that.
Let your game speak.
And that's it. I mean, our game didn't speak that well, but still.
But
but his point was like, this isn't what you do. Like your moral, the way that you carry yourself matters.
Oh yeah,
and and they were good kids. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like they were like super shit talkers. There's little things here and there. It was like, there's that cockiness sometimes kids can get where, you just, everything good.
Yeah. I'm listening. I just got nervous for a second.
Yeah, no, I could tell.
I heard something in my head.
Opening. Opening.
I'm listening though.
I can't multitask either. I'm hoping that everything's.
But no,
okay, yeah.
It is a difference when kids are like, I think that is good that your coach does that to tell them like, no, like, we don't. Let's hold ourselves to a higher level.
Yeah,
because, I mean, playing basketball, any sport, you're gonna get people that talk shit. You're gonna get those guys. But like, I think for me, one of the greatest like things to do is like I was always quiet, so I would let whatever I did speak for itself.
Right.
So if I was playing D a lot harder than them or not, like it would just rile them up more because I'm not reacting.
Right.
So that just pisses them off even more. Right.
Yep.
That's what I liked about Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman, he wouldn't say much. He would look at him or he would do little things. People would get so pissed at him.
Yeah.
But really, he never really said shit to people. He was
just kind of getting in their head.
Oh, he would get in their head. He would stare at them like on the line, like during a free throw. He would just look at them. He would like literally spin his body to stare at them.
Stare at them so they knew he was looking.
Yeah. Or he would like when he would tangle up with them or something, he would just do a little extra. But then like well, he was great at it.
All that other stuff in his personal life. Part of it was his mental health, I'm sure, but part of it too, I'm sure there was, especially in that day and age, when you dress as a woman and marry yourself, that probably did not make a lot of basketball players feel comfortable in the 90s.
Probably not.
So when you're like one-on-one with them, I'm sure that was a different mentality that put in their head.
But like that's something I always saw. Like he was quiet, he played hard D, like he was aggressive, so I would always use those tactics.
Right.
And so I think it's good to coach that does that, because if I was a coach and I seen one of my players putting their hands on another player, like doing the little, I would be like, "Hey man, keep your fucking hands to yourself." I would
tell that kid, if I see you do that again, you're out. I'm not going to put you in.
It's one thing to like play defense, but to do that
for no reason. God. And the kid was taller. It's a disrespectful thing.
Oh, so disrespectful.
The coach will tell them if you're chasing somebody who's going to the hoop, yell. Like, let them know that you're there. Let them know that you're on them. But it's a difference of the intimidation factor versus being competitive to the point of being disrespectful to somebody else. Yeah. He doesn't teach them disrespectful things. He says, get in their head, let them know you're there. But if he saw a kid doing that kind of crap, he would yell at him and say, what are you doing?
You should.
Don't do that. Because it's a character thing. And that is, I used to hate sports as a kid because I wasn't into them.
Yeah.
If you're not into sports as a guy, it's a problem. There's a lot that, anyway.
Yeah.
But now that I watch my son learning sports, I'm really glad he's in sports because I see so many benefits of learning to work with a team.
Well, you get
camaraderie.
Yeah, camaraderie. I can't even say that. I sound like an idiot. But you get that. You get just like you said. You get those it builds integrity.
Right.
Depend on the coach, obviously.
Right.
But
I mean, when done right, when there's a good coach, the value of the life lessons to be learned and the failure piece. As a kid, one of the reasons I hated sports is I hated to make mistakes because God forbid you look dumb or you screw something up. And I'm seeing in these kids, you screw up. Our coach is really good at being super hard on them. But then also, in a game, a kid breaks for it. And he makes it all the way back and then shoots and hits the backboard and it's screwed up. He knows these kids. And he, at the game, was shouting out to him hey, it's all right. You earned it. You earned it. And his point being, you got the rebound. You took it back. You took your shot. You missed. Get over it. Move on. And I wish I had kind of done that as a kid because had I owned mistakes as a part of the process, it would have made so many things in my early life so much easier. I think.
Oh, for sure. Because I don't know, it's sports. There's a famous quote or something about you miss so many shots that you don't take or some shit.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to realize some of the, baseball, for example, is it's a very disciplined sport. We're talking, you got Ichiro, one of the greatest hitters in the game of baseball has ever seen, right? But out of the thousands of hits he had, he had a little over 300 average, 30%.
Right.
You know, that's incredible.
That's right, but that is insanely good.
Yeah. Like that's crazy because it's not passing in like school terms, right?
Right.
That's an F.
But to get an A, the 30 would be or 300.
Yeah, that's such
100%. Like
that's
if
crazy.
You get that number.
Yeah, in his career, like people see that and they're like, dude, that is amazing.
Yeah, right.
You know, he fucking out of 100 hits, he only really technically out of 100 pitches he hit what's 30%, 30, right? And so that's crazy, you know, like because you're like, oh, okay, that's fucking great.
Yeah, but
so it's okay because he missed all those times. Like how many, you know, pop outs did he get? How many, you know, are like Jordan or any of these great shooters? How many times did they miss 1,000 times? But when it came down to it, it counted. You know, like they made those shots. They were disciplined enough to not let the fact that they missed get to them.
Right.
And so having a coach being like, no, that's you did exactly what you should, because by the end of next time he does that kid, he'll maybe make it.
Right.
And then you know that's gonna pump you up.
Hell yeah!
Like I need to get JJ into sports for the reasons because he like you just said you would do sport and you didn't want to because you would be like, oh, I'm gonna look dumb because I'm not gonna do right.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I really
one of the things
sports.
One of the things he said was like, well, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know how to do this, or you know, I don't know what I'm doing, or you know, I'm gonna look dumb or whatever. He said some stuff similar to that, and I'm like, yeah. That's fine, but the more you do it, the better you get. Like no one's does something and they're just so good at it.
Right.
Rarely do you see that happen. Yeah, there's going to be kids that have they're naturally athletic. You know, they get things.
Right.
But a majority of people aren't. They have to learn these things, these techniques, or just whatever. However you shoot, hit, whatever sport you're playing. It's just, I don't know. It's just a repetitive thing, and it's okay to miss, and it's okay to fuck up. Because that's the only way you're going to learn and get better.
Well, I'm just learning. I wish I had a little more of that mentality of like, fuck it, I don't care. If I didn't care, I think I'd do things so much better.
Oh,
because you get so in your head. And I've gotten better, but still, like, I'll put so much pressure on myself, which doesn't make you perform better. To put more pressure on yourself. But it's the way my brain works. It's what I've always done, you know?
Oh, for sure. I do that in work and just in just normal life things.
You know, I was so stressed out. I worked 2 days at a gas station. I mean, and I'm not denigrating people that work at gas stations. Like, it was a hard freaking job.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, truly, like, these people do hard things all the time. It was a lot to learn. But I'm like, why did I care so much? Why was it such a hard thing? Like, I didn't know any of the people that came in. Why did I care if I screwed it up? Why did I care at all? You know, but I just did. I mean, I always have cared too much about things that don't really matter.
I shared this video the other day on like Instagram or something. It was it was actually Matthew McConaughey.
There we go.
And he was talking about, he's basically, when you do something, do it. Don't just, oh, I made a mistake. You either you made that decision. Like for me, I decided to quit my job and get a new job. I can't go into this new job half-ass, right? I need to go in just knowing that I better just do it. I got it. It's 110% or it's nothing at all. Like if you're gonna do something and you make that decision, just fucking go for it. Because at the end of the day, like, you're the one who's gonna have to live with the decision of, maybe I should have done this a little harder. Maybe, you know, don't second guess those decisions, because a lot of times your gut's right for a reason. Yeah. Right? They say, you know, trust those gut instincts.
Your instincts.
There's a reason for it.
Yep.
Because there's so many times. How many times you've taken a test and you second guess that answer, and then you find out, oh, I should have went with that fucking
You're
first.
Right.
Yeah, I was right. I knew it.
Yeah.
But it's always just, and that's such a hard thing to go with, right? Yep. Going with your instincts. But the way he said it, oh man, I was just like, you know what? That's so true. It's like, you better go all in or don't go at all.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's me. That's it.
And it's,
McConaughey's talking about me. I just go all in every time.
Well, no, and that's what you want. You want to go all in, or you just, if you make a decision, you stick with that decision.
But you are right in the sense of like, because I think about it like, I don't always trust. I don't think it's wise to always just trust your gut.
Well, of course,
because we've had examples in history where that didn't work out too well. But like, if you're at a crossroads,
for example,
Hitler. I mean, but I mean, if you've got a situation where you've got choice A and choice B, and it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, there is nothing telling you. There is nothing that you can deduce or data that can prove one over the other, and it is completely, you've got to go one or the other. And what is it? That's, I think, the gut point.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, then you got to trust yourself, because there is some innate stuff inside of us that works in ways we don't understand that we should. You might as well trust that. Mm-hmm. Following your core values, those types of things all kind of play a part in that. But some people trust their gut at the expense of information or data.
Yeah.
That's a problem. But I mean, if you're at that crossroads, like, believe in your gut. Yeah. And then, as George W. Bush would say, stay the course.
Stay the course.
Stay the course. I made a decision. Decision's been made.
You do. Sometimes you just got to stick with it.
Just got to stay on that course.
See what happens.
Iraq will be a great thing for our future.
I know that's how I felt though. When at first I was like second guessing my choice to switch jobs, and then not after I saw that, but just I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just.
But your North Star. What it is. I mean, you set a goal for yourself. You set it on this podcast. You said my next thing within a year, I want to change my job, and that's the thing that I've seen in you multiple times. You said you were going to quit drinking for a period of time. You didn't say forever, but for a period of time, you met that goal. You said you're going to get a different job. You met that goal. So, I mean, it's impressive. That's why I don't set goals, because I know myself. I'm just not going to work to make them. But you really do. That's pretty impressive. Like, I
don't look at that.
But you said it, and you did it.
I'm like, nah.
So, you were like, of course, it's like, when people get cold feet in a marriage or whatever, like they're on their wedding day. You're worried all of a sudden, am I making a huge mistake? But you went into it with that goal.
Yeah.
You met that goal. And now here you are. Maybe you'll be happier here. Maybe you won't.
But we'll find out.
At least you've made that change once. And I do believe, too, now that you've made the change once, it becomes that much easier to make that change again. If you're unhappy in a year, F it. Go find a different job.
Honestly, yeah, because now that I started this, I'm like, oh, this is okay. I mean, it's weird to get to know people. Like, I tell Lacey, I was like, I'm the loser. I'm having lunch by myself. I got no friends right now.
You're the movie.
But also, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay not talking to people. I mean, I'll talk to people, don't get me wrong. But I mean, I'm okay. I'm good by myself.
Quiet time.
Yeah, I'm good by myself too.
Yeah. I like to eat lunch by myself. I like a few minutes.
I just go in my truck and just sit there. It's not like I get a long lunch anyway.
Yeah,
I get 30 minutes.
I
haven't had a 30-minute lunch in forever.
That's what I've always had,
bruh.
But we do have some extra planning time.
I've had like
hour
lunches since the days I was at Charter College.
Really,
from Charter College on. Even at Frontier Fence, dude. I was an hour lunch.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was longer. Me and Gabe we would nap. Damn, it's been 2 hours.
Nice.
Why isn't my fence up?
The guys haven't shown up.
They're sleeping on the job site. That's what we would just sleep in the truck or on like the trailer, on the back of the trailer.
That's funny.
Like it would only be if we were in the middle of like a development being built. We wouldn't do it at like someone's house or anything.
That's funny.
We would actually a lot of times we wouldn't actually take a lunch if we were like in a residential.
Just busy. Yeah.
Well,
that's funny.
I don't think I have anything else.
I don't either. It's been a good conversation as always, talking about those feelings and the other stuff, movies, and other random crap.
I know.
Communicating with your spouse, your partner.
We talk about movies a lot, but I love it.
I enjoy movies.
I do.
What did we see? We saw a movie the other day. That one with the sex robot girl that kills people.
Megan?
No, not Megan. It's in the theaters. I forget the name. It starts with a C.
Cunt.
No. Anyway, it was a good movie. It wasn't like it wasn't what you would think, I guess. It was a good movie. So figure out what movie I'm
just kidding.
About.
I think cunt's actually I want to say it means like queen or something.
Like there's countess?
There's like something behind it.
Huh.
Like there's actually like it means something. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure if you call a woman that, she's
gonna slap the shit out of you.
Calling her a queen.
I'm just calling you a princess, baby.
It's just another word for queen. Yeah. Question of the week. We didn't talk about that before. That's a problem. That's on us.
No, I guess not. I guess it's a unpleasant person.
Okay.
No, I saw something with one of those words.
I mean, queens can be unpleasant people too.
Yeah, they're kind of bitches.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
You guys have a good week.
Question of the week. What's the hardest conversation you ever had to have with your partner?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like the toughest thing to ever discuss.
Probably divorce is pretty up there. I mean, I didn't have that conversation, but
that would be. Yeah, I would say that would be a really hard one.
Breakups are hard to do. That conversation.
That song.
It's true.
Yes.
Trying to break up with someone, it's like they'll be like, "You want to break up with me?" No. And in reality, you're like, "I really do," but I'm a pussy. And I
didn't really have to break up because the only time
I was always afraid.
I was either in a long-term relationship or I was not in one at all. So I went through a period of time of like dating and went on a couple dates. It didn't really get to the point of a relationship, but I knew right away, like within 2 dates, I mean, typically that's what dating is, if I was going to be into somebody or not. And so pretty much when I've dated white girls, that's been when it's like pretty quickly I was like, this isn't right for me.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I want to say I've only dated one girl where I actually like legit was like, I don't think it's like basically it's not fair to you for us to like do this because like you're clearly looking for like something more long term. I just kind of got out of something. I don't think it's fair because she was actually fucking a cool person. She was like a good person.
Yeah.
We had some dates. We did things and I was just like I don't want to. Normally I could just hit it and just be fine and be like, whatever, I don't care. But like, I was like, nah.
You didn't feel right about it.
I didn't feel, she was just so like, she's just so cool, And so I was just like, I'm not in a situation where I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
And I don't think, we should probably do this. It was an easy conversation though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I always just attacked it right away. Like as soon as I knew for sure, I just felt like I could not. Because I always have been more like I'm looking for a long-term thing or nothing. I probably shouldn't have been that way, but I was. And so because I have a really hard time hurting people's feelings.
Oh, yeah.
I guess until I'm like super in with them.
I say that and then I realize some of the shit I've done in my life where I'm like, I probably actually hurt their feelings.
I know. And I hurt Blanca's feelings all the time.
Well, no, I mean,
And I'm sure I hurt my ex's feelings all the time. Like, I'm not a perfect person, but... Like I did not want to get in that spot where I felt too far in and then couldn't.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, because my high school girlfriend, she and I were together for like a year and a half. Then my college girlfriend, it was like 4 years.
Yeah.
And then, then I married Blanca. But
my high school girlfriend.
Those couple times, like I went on a couple dates with some people and then if I didn't feel it right away, I just had to be like, I made myself just tell them straight up.
That's good.
Because I don't know. I
was with my high school girlfriend about 4 years, I want to say. And then when I broke up with her, instead of just being like, hey, we shouldn't be together, I'm like, what lie can I make up? Oh, you know what? I got a girl pregnant. I cheated on you and I got a girl pregnant. That's
one
pretty
of the worst
fucked up. I actually felt really bad about that one.
Oh, man.
Because even after all that, because she had cheated on me before, even after all that, she still wanted to make it work, right?
Wow.
And then, no, I cheated on her. Oh, so no. So I told her I cheated on her. She still wanted to get with.
So then you added to it.
So later, I was like, oh fuck, okay. And then I was like, which I did cheat on her, and then afterwards she was like, oh, we should still, because it was long distance at this time, and I was like, oh, I got her pregnant or something, which was not true. And it was a dick. I like actually later in life, I think I ended up like sending her like a message, just kind of apologizing.
Yeah.
I felt like like when I look at it, I was like, that's such an asshole thing to do. Like I actually felt really bad about
Being young, we're very.
What was I thinking?
People.
I'm so dumb.
Yeah.
She was like a good girl. Like she helped me graduate high school and shit. Like I could have at least been okay. Like, you know what? It's not working.
Yeah.
You're better at life right now than I am. Mm-hmm. It was one of those things where, you know, they were here. I'm like struggling to figure out. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I was being stupid. I was a stupid guy thinking with my dick.
That's the thing is, it's funny. I always say like, oh, I'm a nice person. I'm a nice guy. But like, yeah, I remember when my college girlfriend and I broke up and she was like, you know, you really hurt my feelings that one time you said this or that. I'm like, that is a pretty shitty thing to say. Like,
maybe you should have harder feelings, bitch.
Toughen up. No. You know, really, like, I'm not saying like I was a horrible person all the time, but I definitely could say things that were not nice. You know, like, you just think back and it's like, oh.
Why did I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, why?
Intrusive thought. Blech.
Yeah. You know, and it's like, it's just, I think you do get better. Well, I shouldn't say that because there are a lot of people that are total assholes that are older, but hopefully you learn from your mistakes and become a better person.
Yeah, I can honestly say as I've gotten older, I've gotten better at expressing how I feel, even though I still really suck at it.
Yeah.
And still hold things in.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot better.
I hope it's changing as our society changes.
I really do think it is.
A lot of those growing pains that we're going through right now, like, again, there's a lot of contentious issues being brought up in the modern world. And I think the good thing of where we're at is hopefully from the darkness of everything, we get some growth in a good way. And people learn how to be better to each other ultimately. And, you know, I hope boys learn how to be nicer and girls learn how to be nicer, and we all just learn how to
just be nicer.
Just better ways of communicating. We don't really value teaching things that we just consider to be innate.
Yeah.
And that maybe aren't. Maybe we do need to be more purposeful in the way we teach kindness and the way we teach how to talk to each other and that communication. But
true.
Anyway, that's for another podcast.
To be continued.
Yeah. So now that we talked another 10 minutes.
What does it say? Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself. Maybe we'll title this.
Believer in yourself. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, believe in yourself. You guys can do anything. You really can. Just set your mind to it.
Yeah, honestly, you really can.
And do it.
Do it to it.
Yeah, limitless.
If you want to be an astronaut, fucking do it.
Yeah. I got to grab that real quick.
Oh, yeah.
All right, friends.
He's talking about a mouse.
Yeah. He's
talking about his penis.
Mouse. Okay, we'll see you guys next week.